show you how to do a basic edit of the images that you've taken. So it doesn't matter if you're on Windows or Mac, it's kind of the same process. And don't worry if you don't have Photoshop. There's a free trial version available from adobe.com. Go for it, download it, try it. And if you want, I mean, it's only about 170 Rand subscription a month. So if you do download it, I would suggest take as many photos as you can, get them all onto your desktop ready, download Photoshop, pay for the monthly subscription, do all your editing, and then unsubscribe. So they'll only bill you for 1 month cycle. Do more if need be, but it really is powerful software. And I'm going to show you very simply how to get really good images out of simple home photography. So this image itself you'll see now is quite a dark underexposed image, and I do that on purpose. First of all, you want to click on your image pane up top, and you want to go to adjustments. Now there are a lot of adjustments you can play with. I'm going to do the real basic stuff. We're going to go to brightness and contrast. I'm going to increase the brightness up to probably about 70%. That's usually on my kind of underexposing where I like the image to be. I'll probably go a little bit more. And contrast, you don't want to do too much, because if you go too high on contrast, it starts looking really fake. You want to try to keep the colors as natural as you've shot them. So I'll keep contrast down to about 21, that should be fine. Then you're going to click OK. So now you'll see that your initial image is done. Now, as far as zooming in and out of your image, on a MacBook, you will hold down your command dial and pinch out. So in fact, you don't have to hold the command. You can just pinch on your trackpad. On a Windows computer or with a normal computer mouse, you can use the scroll wheel to scroll in and out of the image. So this will just bring up the image itself. I'm quite happy with everything as it is, but it's not very symmetrical, and I am a fan of symmetry. So over on the left-hand column, you've got all your pretty much your built-in preset modes. So you'll see this little square box here called Crop Tool. We're going to click that, and you're going to make sure that up top here, you want to leave it as original ratio, unless of course you want to make it a square or change the ratio. By all means go for it, but I'm going to leave it as original ratio for now. So what that means that if I start bringing in this table, it's cropping into my image wherever I'd like it to be. Now I want to try and sort of, if I click the image itself, I can move it around, but I want to sort of crop into the mirror a bit. I don't want it to be perfectly circular, and then I can even use my arrow keys to shift my image. So I'm quite happy with it sitting there, and chopping off a bit of the bottom of there, and I'm going to hit enter. So now you'll see we've actually chopped out the bits, and we've got a nice symmetrical image here. Now usually I would go into more detail. I would then have this black piece here. I'll sort of brush tool that out to make it look a bit more like nice and fluid as it is over here. But really we're not going to do too much technical stuff here. We're going to keep it as simple as possible. We just want to make our image look good. Now you'll notice the matte I used here is quite distracting. If you like it, keep it. If you've got a foreground there that you do like, if you shot it on black, you wouldn't have to worry too much. But I'm going to show you a quick and simple way how to get rid of that. So I want to make it match the rest of this black here. Simple way to do it is your eyedropper tool. That will allow me to select any color. So if you look down here on the left, you'll see that whatever color I click, it changes to that exact color on whatever I click. So I'm going to go down here and click black, and then go to my paintbrush over here, and you want to make sure that your mode is set to normal. Nothing more than that, normal, and your opacity you want at 100%. And then once we've done that, you'll see the little circle that's floating around on screen. If you click over here, you can change the size of that circle. But we want to work with quite a big area, otherwise we'll be here all day. And then just simply click and drag all the way around the places that you want to get rid of. Effectively, all we're really doing here is we're brushing. There is a quicker way to do it in things like Photoshop Elements, which would be your select tool. So it'll be a little tool like this over here, where you have a magic selection, and it'll select whatever color is in that range. So it's never perfect, and that's why I don't like to use it too much. You see now I've clicked and it's gone over here. So that would mean now if I use my paintbrush again, I'll just show you for the purposes of demonstration, and then we'll Command D. So see, it paints the black in there as well, which I don't want. So I'm going to just go back and get rid of it. So really all I've done is I've just painted in black over here. Now I want to give this image a nice black border around, and that's very simple to do. So you're going to go to your select tool, and you're going to go across to this little, where your background, now that's the layer that we're working with. We're only working with one layer here, which is our full image. You're going to click on this lock off, and now up top, edit, stroke. Stroke allows us a border infill. Now we can select it to be inside of the image, on the center of the image, or outside. We're going to select inside, normal, opacity 100. Now the pixel width is how big you want your border to be. So 20 on this kind of image should be perfect. So if I click, you'll now notice that I've got a nice subtle black border around my image. I'm going to leave it like that. I'm not going to make it bigger or smaller. You can play around with it. I'll show you here. You can go to stroke again, and you can make it, let's say 80, just to exaggerate it, and you'll see it's a nice thick border. We don't want that. Keep it nice and simple, non-obtrusive, and as simple as that. Now if you want, you can catalog your images with text. You can call it, you can put your your name on your image so people don't use it. You can do whatever you like. For the purposes of this, I'm going to just call it as it is. I'm going to call it carry. Over on your left-hand pane, you've got a T here for text or type tool. Now, I've found if you go up top here, your little bar will bring up all your different texts. I found a very cool font for Mac Photoshop called Something Strange, which is a horror-based pop. You might have seen some of that text in some of my videos. And I'm just going to type in carry. Oops, okay, before we do that, let me just escape here. I want to change it to red. So if I want to keep within my theme colors, I can use my eyedropper tool and make it that red. Or I can actually just click the box and change to whatever red I want. I'm going to go with something a bit brighter. Okay, and we're just going to click somewhere and type in carry. Okay, this is still not working. Why are you not working? Okay, let me just, there we go. Okay, so we've got a carry, nice and cool. We'll click the select tool to say, alright, we like that. Now, if you go up to view, you'll see that you have a snap function down here. I leave that on because that allows me to just click and drag this, and when it's in the center of the image, as you'll see there, it locks in place. Bang. Now I know that that's dead center. Okay, you can use your arrow tool to move it down, so just your arrows on your keyboard. Now I don't particularly like this fat high font. I want to squash it down a bit. So now, if you see over here, if I click on that box there, it'll bring up a height and width option. You'll see in the middle is a link. If you click that link active, when you drag it, what's it doing? It's doing everything in uniform. I want to only adjust my height. So I'm going to click off the aspect ratio lock and just drag this down a bit. Give it a bit more of a squashed look. Bring it a bit more out there. And I'm happy, so enter. Then we go back to our select tool and just get it into the center again. And simply using our arrow keys, we can get it back to around about there where we want it. And that's it. That is the final image. And that's what I just wanted to show you guys, how simple and easy it is to take photos and do it yourself at home. You can get professional looks with a decent cell phone as long as your lighting is right. If I did this with my pro camera, I could then go into detail and show you why images don't look as good as cell phones. For one, if I zoom into this image, you'll notice there's a heck of a lot of noise and not a lot of detail. Cell phones just cannot handle good resolution. So don't be BS'd by all the hype out there that mobile phones are 20 million pixels and 30 million pixels. They work on extremely small sensors and are not very good in low light and cannot handle noise. So that's proof in the pudding. In fact, if I did this with a pro camera, I could actually show you. Let me just import an image that I did shoot with the pro camera. So yeah, don't be fooled by marketing from cell phone companies. They just really cannot compete with a proper high-end camera. But like I say, this is really for you guys to put in your own collections and things. If you're going to do cataloging properly and you want high-res photos, then yes, get yourself a proper camera. I'm going to use this as an example. This I shot with a Sony an A7 Mark III. So it's only 24 million pixels, but it's a full-frame camera which can handle noise. So I'm just going to, as a reference, show you the difference in how it can handle detail. And this is a highly cropped image. this was shot in JPEG form as well. So that gives you an idea of the difference in rendering quality between a proper camera and a cell phone. So that gives you an idea. You don't lose the detail like you do on a cell phone, as you can see. And that's it from me, guys. I hope you enjoyed that video. So, cool. Again, thank you for watching. I hope it gave you guys some insight into the images. So yeah, stay safe. And here's just a comparison of the two side by side, so you can get an idea of what it looked like before and after. And again, we'll catch you on the next one. All the best. Ciao.